Okay, let's see what we got here. We got 10 pieces of 1.25 by 1.25. I think it's what is it? Yeah, it's a heavy 16th, so it's probably a 16th. And these things are, let's see how long they are. Okay, they're about 44, 45. So that's not bad. So 10 times 45. So I got 450 inches of steel here. Let's take them in the shop and be able to hot rod on them. I got this curved piece too, and it's 1.5 inches square. And look at this piece. So this is that curved piece. Fits in here pretty good. Look at that, huh? It's a bigger radius, but it's going to work just fine for this. So these back two corners can use this curved piece. I like it. So, yeah, that'd be nice. I think what I'll do is I'm going to ditch the doors, go with the door length, but doors are coming off. I'll have a bar welded from here to there. Same on the other side. And then I'll have one down here on that tube, all over the back, and then across. And then on the corners back here, I'm going to come up with these. And those I'll probably stop right here somewhere. And eventually, off of that, I think that's strong enough. Maybe I put a diagonal bracing on it. I think we'll put a little bar, like a roll bar type thing. And on the front, eventually, I think we're going to do the same thing. We use rectangular tubing, make a windshield frame kind of, and then off that we'll go back to that bar. So anyway, I think we got the material. I'm going to bring it in and clean it up, and then take some measurements on the body here and determine that. I probably won't go straight across on the back here because I need room for the drive line. And this is going to be dropped. I don't know how much. A few more inches anyway. So what I might do is just to put a temporary, that's probably what I'll do, is put a temporary one across, because I don't really know what it's going to look like back there. Maybe I could do an arc piece. Maybe I could do that. Yeah. I'd like to use these arc pieces just because I have so many of them. You know, it's good new steel. Yeah, that's probably not going to work. But it might work up in here. Anyway, that'll be determined. Car's falling apart. All right. Okay, let's take a look at this 26, 27 T cowl. Check out how square it is and all that. I think it has a few issues. So let's look at the driver's side. Put that in the middle of the table. Now, what do we got here? Okay, that's pretty normal. Dips in I don't know, 2.5 inches or so. What we got here? That ain't right. Okay, it should be hitting towards the top. Then have a big gap there. As you can tell by this crack here, starts out at nothing and then gets bigger. So this has been pulled out for whatever reason. And over here, I got a crack. It's overlapped a bit. So I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. Looks like we still have a nice chunk of wood in there. With no wood over here. There's a nail or screw that went into the wood. Now the original floor on the T was right here. And then this little tab there, that little tab there, folded over the floor to hold it. So that was the angle of the floor right there. And then, of course, you're down here somewhere. So I think since everything's kind of bent and pushed in, rotten wood, not sure the angle there, this is bowed out. I think what I'm going to do is remove all this stuff, but I'm going to leave the outer edge of this rail. I think that's what I'll do. Now, that's an interesting hole on this side. Not sure what happened there. Thinking maybe exhaust, because on the original T motor, the exhaust was here and then it kind of went down at an angle. So, could have been. I really don't know. Here's some added holes too. There and there. Yeah. This here is for the upright windshield thing. But these are unknown. And this looks pretty much stock. Yeah. All these holes look good. Any added holes over here? No, just a rusty crack up here. And of course the bottom's rust down. It's not a big deal. Alright, well let's look at squareness here. Okay, so it hits right there and then it barely goes in. Maybe 3/4. That looks about right. I got over here. Okay, same thing, hits there. Okay, and this looks wider, but I think this is, yeah, it's not sitting flat. So, yeah, okay. So I think that's what I'll do. We'll flip it up and start trimming. The original gas tank mounted right here. Right in here was the tank. And that was the filler up in there. I'm not sure what this says. Can you read anything? I'm gonna wet my finger. Get anything out of it here. Well, I don't know. I'll have to look at that another time. Okay, so yep. So this is a kind of a C shape. There's the original cut. My dad might have cut that when he was like 15, 16, 17. Because this was his. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Cut this top piece halfway, get rid of that triangular brace, and go from there. Okay. After looking at this, I think I'll remove this whole side piece. The only thing it's hooked to is up here. Hooked up to there. Well, that's not true. It's hooked up to the firewall here. But other than that, it's so rusty that this whole side is basically unhooked. And it only goes to there. So I was going to leave this section. I think I'm going to remove the whole thing. Yeah. So maybe I get these 2 rivets here, and then these 2 rivets here. Then when I add a new section, I'll add a new section in here. I'll just replace this all the way with a piece of tubing, because it's bent, it's rusted, and it's really not holding on to anything. So got this off. There were some screws. I cut the screw heads off, and also there was some rivets, a little bit of both. Okay. All right, let's see what we got now. I think that was a good choice. There really wasn't much holding it on up front here. There are these 2 rivets here and these 2 here, but these 2 are hooked to that side brace that was pretty much non-existent. These 2 hooked to this box that wasn't hooked to this anymore anyway. So here's the original piece. Same on this other side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off this front corner. Because that's a known dimension. And then this will adjust to whatever seems right. And since I'm not going to be running doors on this, I'll just need to have a bottom bar and a top bar. Top bar is going to just be like a fake door right there. So that's what I'll do. Go off that dimension right there and there. See what makes sense. Back in here. So Yeah, that's probably not going to be right there, but it might be. We'll see. All right. And now we can see what the back of this hole looks like. So it looks like it was just started somewhere about here and just keep pushing pieces back. I'd like to know the history of that hole. What it was used for. Who made it. Here's a couple of holes. These are done. You could tell the way they're like just punched through with a big spike and bent over. Sometimes they put antennas on these. You'll see that in some of the usually there's a hole up high and then a hole down low. This could have been for a light, or who knows. Who knows the history. This thing could talk, huh? And then in the original car, the steering column went down through here, bolted down here. This swoops up right here because there was a lever right here. There was a brake, high-low lever. And then this had a key. You could run it on battery or magneto, and a amp meter. And over here was the choke. And also you could adjust the carburetor. It went down there. I'm guessing through that hole. No, maybe not. Probably down here lower. Then the gas tank was there, and the gas drain went right through there. And then on the other side was a sediment bulb and a petcock, I think, valve. All right, so I'm gonna take this last piece of wood out. I already broke a piece of it out there. And yeah, clean this up a bit. And get ready to hook whatever gets hooked up here. Gonna be something like that when we're done. I think that was the right choice. Stuff's in really bad shape anyway. And none of it was straight or square. First thing I'm going to do though is carve these end pieces. Make that fit in there deep. And over there against that edge. So that's what I'm going to do first. I notched the ends of these pieces to fit up in here. To fit up in that corner. So I figured out all the dimensions, and this edge needs to be about 3/16 further than that, and then that give room for that sheet metal to come down to that point. And that's the 1/8 longer than that, and got all those dimensions off of the old parts in the pile over there. So this is good. And now I just need to make sure this is square with the front. And that's this dimension right here. This is the stock dimension of that piece that used to be there. I trimmed it all the way down and I actually welded, look down in there, welded the back side of that. So what I'm going to do is get these front corners in. I got a good heavy tack right there. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there it is. Okay. And I'll do the same over there. Then we'll lay it down and then figure out where these points hit the other spot, trim them, and go across. And then this thing here is so flimsy that it'll all work out. It'll all work out. So this was painted black and then had a white, painted with a white little stripe around the top edge here. And that came over to about here. And then had a number 5 on each side. And this is what my dad ran when he was 16. So that's why it's important to me. It's not in that great a shape, and there's not much here to work with. But it's the family history. Okay, so that's how that works. That's all notched. That'll fit down in here. Go right there. welder it. So, and then after this frame's in place, and we do some more sheet metal, and we'll replace this piece. Okay, can you see that? Yeah. So we've got, I don't know, ½ inch, just in a couple passes. So I'm going to pull that out and see what I need on the body. Okay, look at that, huh? Wow, that's quite a bit right there. That's the center mark. Let's see what that is. Okay, we got an inch, about 1 3/8 for the belly. Check it out some more. See it there. This is what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking make 4 of these curved tubes, and that's how they'll work. This could be on the top. And another one on the bottom down here. Now this is this whole panel needs replaced, and then this line goofs with us. I don't mind the line; it gives it character. But seeing that this whole panel needs replaced, and this has a line, and it's got a hole there, and it's bent there. And also looking at this top piece, how it needs help too. It needs something added. I'm thinking that the original car maybe had a piece of wood, and then maybe the seat was hooked to it. I'm not sure. So looking at it overall, I'm thinking I should utilize this sheet metal here and cut here to there, and then this top bar, we'll weld it in to here somewhere, and then that'll be this top ridge. So that'll go right there. And this will be cut right in here somewhere, and then that'll be welded to that edge. And this will come here, and then eventually I'll make another bar that follows this curve. Got a little bit of a curve in the back, and then it gets tighter there. They could tie into this one. Remember, this is going to be on the inside. And we'll trim this whole top. Trim this back right in here, and that'll fix up all these goofy spots. Maybe this top bar here will even be a round piece of tubing. This is square, 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. Maybe this piece back here could be either a 1 or a 1 1/4 round. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Because that'll clean up this top edge. And then this top edge will be tubing with a slight curve. You can see it there. And then tubing that fits this. It'll give it strength and it'll give us a nice edge to grab onto and jump over. So, thinking that's what I should do. All right, I like how that's coming together. I think that was the right choice to trim that off. Okay, so here's a look at it. So I've bent these both in my tubing roller at the same radius. And I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work right there. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. I kind of wanted this to be kind of at the same plane, and it is the same. Saying this part here is straight. The bender, the roller only rolls to that point, and then these end pieces stay straight. So this is actually straight. So what I wanted to have is this surface pretty much straight, and then start curving in, and I think that's what we got. And this thing here is so floppy, it'll conform to whatever. So this radius here goes all the way to there. So by clamping it there, we get it nice and flat. So I think what I'm going to do is roll 2 more of those, and they'll go here at the bottom. This one here I'll cut in here, and then the radius one will go from there back to there. And this corner doesn't matter because I'm going to be making it up. So this whole, I'm going to be cutting this right here, and then cutting this out. I won't cut any of that though until I get the framework. That way it gives me something to work off of. And also this is square. I trimmed this square with the door. It was 5 1/4. So the door is about 20, and I cut 5 1/4 off. So I marked this at 25 to give it the distance. So I'll get this square, get this on the bottom there, and then I'll come up with a piece in the corner. I'm not sure if I'll keep how I did the corner. I think I will. I think I'll keep that like that. I need something in there. I could have just cut it off, and I was like, I'll just bend it. So I like how this is coming out. And like I said earlier, I think that once this is in here, and that's down there, and this is solid, probably go ahead and mount it on the car. And then at a later date, when we're finishing up, I'll cut this off. Cut it right below all these rusted out holes and cracks. And then we'll bend a piece of round tubing to fit it. Yeah, that round one's going to be interesting. I could roll this back piece through my roller, and then the corners will need more. So we'll see how that goes. It'd be nice to make it in one piece. It might end up being 3. So my next step is to roll 2 more of these for the bottom, and I think I'm going to change how this is. This is the stock piece, and on the stock it came in like this. It came down. Well, this is pretty narrow up front here, and I need as much room as we can for my feet. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to chop this off here, and then just have a rectangular tubing fits this slot. Go down and hit that. So I won't do that till this is attached and this bottom one's attached and the framework is done. And then once the framework is done and braced up, I'll chop that, hook it on. And that'll also tell me where this is going to live, because both of these are pushed over. This one's pushed over that way, and that one's pushed over that way. So once I get the framework done, we'll tell us where that lives. All right. Okay, Dad's tea is coming together. Dad's actually still alive. He was born in 1933, so he's coming up on what, 80? No, 81? 33, 23, what's the math? Oh man, 50, 70? What is it? 33 to 23 is what? I think 70. All right, there we go. Well, looks like I was off about 20 years on my dad's age. He's actually 90, and he's turning 91. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, and we'll get back on the tea here after a while. Not sure when. All right, adios.